All right. So the first thing I always do when I'm looking at a division problem, if it's not a number that I instantly know from my multiplication table, then I need to start doing some estimating. So I do see 12s on my multiplication table. So my multiples of 12 can be found, in two different places. They can be found going down this way or along the very bottom of my multiplication table. And I just printed this off online. I typed up multiplication chart printables and found the first image that looked like it was big enough to print. So if you need one at home, I will post one in Google Classroom for you in a little bit. All right. But I'm looking here at my multiples of 12, and I don't see the number 1,620 in this set of multiples. So I know that 12 times 12 is still too small. So if I'm estimating this out, so step one, I'm going to estimate. And I know that 12 times 12, according to my multiplication table, is 144. And this is too small because 144 is still smaller than my dividend. All right. So I know that my quotient, my answer, is not going to be 12. It's going to be bigger. So let's think about what might be too big. Well, I know if I multiply things by 100, then I get to add 2 zeros. So let's see. If I do 12 times 100, that would be 12 with 2 zeros. Okay, that's still smaller than my dividend. So 100 is still too small. So what about 200? 12 times 200. Well, 12 times 200 would be like 12 times 2, which would be 24, and then 2 zeros. 2400. Oh, that's too big. Too big. So I know that my quotient, my answer to this problem, is going to lie somewhere between 100 and 200. So my estimate is going to be, okay, well, it's going to be somewhere in between this 1,200 and 2,400, or 1,200 and 2,400. 16, 20, that sounds like it's kind of right in the middle. Maybe it's a little bit closer to 100 than it is to 200, but maybe right in the middle. All right, so step one is kind of estimate. Figure out what's too big, what's too small, what numbers do you know, so that you can get a better idea of where your answer should fall. All right, so estimating is always going to be a great first step. All right, the next step is know your multiples. Know your multiples. And this means if I'm looking at my divisor, this tells me how many parts. I need to know my multiples of 12. Now, if I have my multiplication table handy, I don't need to know them because they're already listed here. But if our if our divisor was 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 and on and on and on, those aren't things we can typically find on our multiplication chart. Those aren't things that we have memorized. So it's important to know what your multiples are and how to find them. Multiples just mean counting up by. So 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 12 is just two groups of 12. So if I don't know 2 times 12 and I don't have my multiplication table handy, I'm going to think, what's 12 plus 12? 24. And 3 times 12. Again, if I don't know that off the top of my head, I can add another group of 12. Multiplication is just repeated addition. So 24 plus 12 more would be 36. 4 times 12 would be 48. 5 times 12 is 60. And again, my multiplication table, if it's handy, then I'm going to just keep using that. And for now, I'm going to stop because that sounds like a reasonable amount of numbers. And if I need more, I will go get those later. All right, now that we have estimated, we know what our multiples are, let's start dividing. Okay, so step 3, we're going to actually divide. All right, so I'm looking at my divisor, and I have to ask myself, how many, in this case, the answer number is 12, how many go into or divide evenly into, and then start with the first place value. So I'm going to start here. How many 12s fit into 1? Well, I can't take 1 and split 1 into 12 groups evenly. I would end up with parts instead of wholes. So I can't do this place value. How many 12s fit into 1? None of them. So then I move to the next place value and I ask the same question again. How many 12s fit into 16? Well, I can take 16 and I can evenly split them into 12 one time, and then I would have some left over. If I did 2 groups of 12, that would be too many, right? One group of 12, I can fit into 16, but 2 groups of 12 is too many. That's bigger than 16. 24 is bigger than 16. So I'm going to say that one group of 12 fits into 16. Notice where I put my answer. I didn't put it in the thousands place. I put it in the hundreds place because that is the place value that I could go to when I said how many 12s. 12s fit into the 16. All right, so step 3 here was multiply. How many 12s go into 16? Now that you've figured out one group, we're going to multiply. We're going to take that number we just came up with and say, what is 1 times 12? Well, we know that because we've already listed our multiples. 1 times 12 is 12. And I put that multiplication answer down here so that I can get ready to do the next step, which is subtract. All right, so step 5 here is subtract. So I'm really saying, if I think about place values, I'm really saying 1,600, and I'm taking away 1,200, but I'm just leaving those extra pieces off because the standard algorithm is all about making things efficient. Mathematicians like to make things as efficient as possible, write down the least amount of information. All right, so I'm going to subtract. 16 take away 12 would leave me with 4. Now this number here, this is important. If this number is bigger than your divisor, you've done something wrong. That means you didn't find enough groups. So if this number down here is bigger than your divisor, you've done something wrong. Go back and make this bigger. Okay? Because 4 is smaller than 12, I know I've done this correctly. Thumbs up, yay. And now I'm going to proceed with the next step. So the next step after I've subtracted is I'm going to bring down the next place value. Oh, you can't see that. Let me move that up. So step 6, bring down the next place value. All right. So I have this 4 left over. I'm going to bring down the next place value. So I'm bringing down the tens place. So now I'm dealing with the number 42. I'm really dealing with 420 if I use the whole place value system. But for efficiency's sake, I'm only going to use the 2 numbers I need. Now this number is bigger than 12, and I start the process over. So I'm going to repeat these steps as many times as I need until I've run out of numbers. So step 7, repeat. All right, so now I'm going to ask myself, how many 12s go into 42? How many 12s go into 42? Well, I'm going to look for the closest number to 42 without going over. 12 1 time would fit, 2 times would fit, 3 times would fit. Oh, 4 times would be too big. 48 is bigger than 42. So I can't fit 4 groups of 12 in, but I can fit 3 groups. Because I'm dealing with my tens place, I'm going to put that 3 up top. Now I'm going to multiply. What is 3 times 12? Well, I know that because I wrote it down or I have it on my multiplication table. 3 times 12 is 36. Next step, subtract. 42, take away 36. Sometimes it's easier to just count up 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. There's 6 left over. Double check, is this number smaller than our divisor? Yes. Okay, 6 is smaller than 12. That means I found the right amount of groups. And now I'm going to do the next step, bring down the next place value. Even though this is a 0, it still matters because it was part of our original dividend. Okay, so now we're dealing with the number 60. How many 60s or how many 12s go into 60? How many 12s go into 60? Again, look at my list. Ooh, 5 goes in perfectly. 5 groups of 12, 5 times 12 is 60. When I subtract, in this case, I have 0 left over. If this number was smaller than 12 and I'd run out of numbers, in elementary school, you would say like R0, remainder 0. In middle school, we don't use R for remainder anymore. We're going to report that if we did have a remainder using a fraction or a decimal, but we'll get to that on another day.